Hey everybody, happy Tuesday afternoon. I am Joseph Boric and this is Sports Fanatic News. This video will be about the NFL Power Rankings, comparing Bleacher Reports to ESPN's, and then listing my own. If we go down ESPN's, we have the Eagles, Patriots, Rams, Steelers, Vikings, Saints, Seahawks, Panthers, Falcons, and then Chargers at number 10 as the surprise team that they included. If we go to Bleacher Report, we have the Patriots first and then the Eagles, although the guy in Bleacher Report did say if he could put them both at one, he'd put them both at one, but he can't do that, so he picked the Patriots over the Eagles, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes. And then Vikings, Rams, Steelers, Panthers, Saints, Falcons, Jaguars, Seahawks. So they didn't include the Chargers on theirs. For the difference between the Patriots and Eagles, he was saying it's because the Patriots could find a way to beat anybody in any way. Well, that's not the best argument. The better argument would be maybe they had a better schedule to start the season, which you could possibly argue. You couldn't argue that the Patriots are the better team because they find ways to win games, because the Eagles found ways to win games against crappy teams that we didn't play great against, like when we beat the Giants by only a few. And, I mean, now the Chargers are in the top 10, but when we played them, they weren't that great, and we made that stadium seem like our own. We beat them by a few points and found a way to beat them. We found a way to beat the Panthers, who the Patriots lost to, when the refs weren't even in our favor. So it's kind of a balancing act where you can't really compare it that way. The only way you compare it is possibly strength of schedule. Excuse me. The Patriots played the Chiefs in Week 1 and lost 42-27. When the Eagles played the Chiefs in Week 2 at the Chiefs, we only lost 27-20, which was a very close game that if a couple of plays went our way and we didn't make a couple mistakes, which was early in the season, we could have won that game. The Patriots played the Saints in Week 2, which they won 36-20, so they beat them by a good margin. Obviously, the Saints are one of the better teams in the NFC this year, although you could argue for that game they didn't get off to the best start the first couple games, but either did New England per se, because they played the Texans and only won by 3, so that's a game they found a way to win. Deshaun Watson, I remember, had a good game that game. They lost to the Panthers 33-30, which is a team the Eagles beat. So that would then put the Eagles a step up. They beat the Bucs 19-14. They found a way to win that game, and the Jets 24-17. But both of those games, if anybody remembers, had controversial reversed calls. The Jets game was a touchdown. I think the Bucs game might have even been a touchdown too, but it was a big play, I know. I remember from that. The Falcons, they beat 23-7. That wasn't even close. The Chargers, they only beat 21-13. The Broncos, both teams killed 41-16. The Patriots won. And the Raiders, they beat 33-8, which was in Mexico. And the Dolphins, they beat 35-17. And the Patriots' remaining schedule is the Bills, Dolphins, Steelers, Bills again, and then Jets. And they already beat the Jets. They just beat the Dolphins. They haven't played the Steelers yet. That'll be a very tough game. And they play the Bills twice, which are the 2 times they play the Bills. They haven't played them yet. Even one of those, the Bills have, when Tyrod Taylor's in, have looked at least substantial and decent. Could make it a close game and scare the Pats. The Jets, they already beat, but they only beat by a touchdown. So we'll see how close that game is. The Eagles beat the Redskins Week 1, 30-17. Then we lost to the Chiefs, like I said, 27-20. And the Patriots beat the Chiefs 42-27 in the first week, so that could give them the nod over us. We beat the Giants 27-24 in a game we found a way to win. Then we beat the Chargers 26-24 in a game we found a way to win, where we basically turned LA Stadium into our own. We destroyed the Cardinals 34-7, which was when Carson Palmer was still playing. We beat the Panthers 28-23 in that terribly reffed game. We beat the Redskins 34-24. We beat the 49ers 33-10. The Broncos 51-33. The Cowboys 37-9. The Bears 31-3. So both teams have schedules that have some pretty weak teams on them. Some were surprisingly weak teams, and others were teams you expected to be fairly weak going into the season, like the 49ers, the Bears. The Giants were kind of a surprise team and expected them to be great. And then the Redskins, the Eagles have to play no matter how good they are because they're in their division. Like the Patriots have to play the Jets. The Eagles clearly have the harder schedule going forward, though, because we have the Hawks, Rams, Giants, Raiders, and Cowboys. Now, the Hawks are obviously a very solid team, mainly because of Russell Wilson. The Rams are very good all around this year. And the Giants, we played close to the first time, so and they have at least looked okay lately in most games, so they've been playing closer, so you can't take them for granted, which I don't think we will because the Eagles haven't done that to any point yet. The Raiders, that's the Christmas night game, that should be a good game. And the Cowboys is the last game of the season where they have Zeke back. So you can't take that game for granted because they're going to want to beat you to mess up the standings if that's at all possible. So I think it's close, and you could say the Eagles and Pats could be tied for first place right now. But what's going to determine it is if the Eagles, well, first of all, if the Eagles beat the Seahawks and the Rams in California, that can pretty much determine it because the Patriots only have one team, literally one team left on their schedule that will have a chance to really do anything in the playoffs. Because the Bills aren't mathematically out yet, but the Bills aren't going anywhere if they make it. The Steelers are the team that the Patriots could possibly face to go to the Super Bowl. So that's a big game for them and for the Steelers, and that should be a very great game. Now, moving on to my power rankings, I kept the Eagles at first, then I put the Patriots second. I put the Vikings third over the Rams because the Vikings defense is ridiculous, and if Case Keenum can keep playing at the rate he's playing, or at least somewhere around that, then they're pretty much set there because of both sides of the ball. The Rams are fourth, the Steelers are fifth, the Saints are sixth, Panthers are seventh, the Falcons are eighth, who are all in the same division. The Hawks are ninth, and the Chargers are 10th, who I put in mine over the Jaguars. The reason I put the Chargers over the Jaguars is because the Chargers can be one of those sneaky teams that can go past the first round if they made the playoffs because they do got Phillip Rivers as their quarterback. Melvin Gordon ain't a bad running back, and their defense has looked significantly better of late. So, and the Jags literally rely solely on their defense pretty much, which even the Vikings don't do. Case Keenum's been very sharp this year for the most part, and has had a very solid season. The Jaguars, when Leonard Fournette's not going, like last game, they pretty much have nowhere to go because Bortles is very average, and they also don't have the best options to throw to most weeks because their receivers are out with injuries. They have very injury-plagued wide receivers. So the Jaguars have struggles once they can't run the ball, which is why I didn't put them in the top 10, but they would probably be the 11th or 12th team because of their great defense. And as they say, defense can help you to win games, but it can't if your offense is pretty much obsolete in a game. So those are my power rankings. Again, the Eagles, Patriots, Vikings, Rams, Steelers, Saints, Panthers, Falcons, Hawks, and Chargers. Of course, the Chargers would have to hop over the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are only a game ahead of them now at 6-5 because the Chiefs have basically Their offense has been non-existent of late, so the Chiefs need to get back to their winning ways soon. Otherwise, the Chargers are coming right up behind them, and they might steal that division crown from the Kansas City Chiefs. So that has been my power rankings. This is Sport Fanatic News. This is Joseph Boric. Everyone have a great day. Peace.